Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board and the audience. It's my distinct pleasure to always honor Employees of the Month. And this month is the latter part of last month in January and the first part of February. It's always a special time for us. It's a special time because we honor Teachers of the Year on the district's wide scale, and then also Supervisor and Principal of the Year. So tonight it's my distinct pleasure to honor many individuals this evening. And they're here in the audience with their families, and sorry to drag you out on a nasty night like tonight, but hey, it's the way it's done. And we want to honor you. So we appreciate them making the effort to come tonight. But what happened every school in three categories, the Teacher of the Year. And that's pre-K through fourth grade is the first category. And then you have fifth grade through eighth grade is the second category. Then you have a high school nominee. Well, at the elementary levels of our 6 elementary schools, their application is sent. Everybody does an application and they send that in, and we have a committee that looks at that. Dr. Melton sends that out to individuals, and they score those and they rank those as their district Teachers of the Year. So it is my distinct privilege and honor as the director of Cannon County Schools to honor these Teachers of the Year. And I'd like to say right now, every teacher, especially this year, works very, very hard. I'd like to give every teacher in this county a round of applause. So we thank them for their dedicated hard work outside of COVID-19, much less with COVID-19, that has challenged us. And I would like to report, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that these teachers have met the challenge, and we're still going. And I do have a good report tonight, and I'll go ahead and make that report. Is our COVID numbers are down across the county. So that's the lowest that I've got. My report I got on my desk this afternoon. Guess what? We have like 43 cases, contacts here in our school system, and only 4 actual cases. I think that's deserves a round of applause too. So at this time, I'm going to call your names. You'll come up and receive your award, your certificate from Cannon County Schools. And let me say, I think every teacher deserves this, but when you get through the process, and these teachers that will go on, members of the board, they will go on then to regional competition, and that in the Upper Cumberland area. So there's another round, and then another round, and then perhaps even a state winner. So I'll put our folks against anybody in the state of Tennessee. So at this time, I'd like our District Teacher of the Year for 2020-2021, pre-K 4th grade, and that is Miss Amber Phillips, 3rd grade teacher from Woodland School. Very proud of Amber and the hard work that she does at Woodland with the 3rd graders. So. Look at Lisa. Of the year for 5th grade through 8th grade, I can take a little credit here. She is one of my former students, so that's good. And that is Miss Emily Mullins. Emily teaches 4th and 5th grade at Woodland School. And Emily, who was your favorite sociology teacher? Who was your favorite only sociology? Always makes me proud of former students, and the older I get, the more prouder I become. I'll put it that way. And the high school, you know, they nominate at the high school and select at Cannon County High School. And this individual has been teaching a number of years. I didn't call you old, Rhonda. I reserve that for others in your department. She knows who she is, but you know exactly who she is. But we'd like to recognize Cannon County High School, one of the finest individuals you'll ever meet, and an outstanding math teacher, and that is Miss Rhonda Sims, our Cannon County High School and District Teacher of the Year. Now those are known pretty well in the public. That's been in the paper, press releases, and all of that. These other two really aren't known a whole lot. I've not done an official announcement, so this is the first time officially you're going to hear about who is the Principal of the Year. And yeah, drum roll there for us, please. Our Principal of the Year for the year 2020-2021 is Miss Melinda Crook of Auburn School in Auburntown, Tennessee. I didn't say how many years, Melinda.
I think we need to give Mr. Curtis a round of applause. I didn't hear any beep or anything out there. He kept on
See, I can play shut mouth, yes. And finally, our Supervisor of the Year. And this gentleman, I believe, deserves to be Supervisor of the state of Tennessee. This gentleman has worked really, really hard ever since March, literally, to get us from, and y'all heard me brag on our technology department for their employees of the month for the technology people. But I'll just tell you what, we could not do what we do. His team works tireless hours. I told a fellow director just today that our technology individuals, I put them against anybody. I said, we went literally from not having anything from 8th grade all the way down of having anything one-on-one to now being one-on-one all the way down from 8th grade all the way down to 3rd grade. And then we just got another shipment in. Your kids are going to have Chromebooks. The lower grades we're going to deploy in a little bit different way, but they are constantly getting these out and have gotten thousands, y'all hear me, thousands of devices for your students. And their Supervisor of the Year for 2020-2021 is Mr. Brian Kofer. Come out from the curtain there, Brian. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's a pleasure to be the director of a school system of these fine individuals. We wish them all well in the Upper Cumberland competition. We'll know that probably here in about another month. So congratulations to all of our awardees. And guess what? The paperwork is due. So you get with Dr. Melton, you've got paperwork that is due into the state so we can get it on to the Upper Cumberland. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to go see who's going to get here, sir.
All right, Mr. Curtis, call a roll.
Mr. McMackins.
Here.
Ms. Duggan.
Here.
Mr. Mullins.
Here.
Ms. Thomas.
Here.
Chairman Fan.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 here, none absent. You have a quorum, sir.
All right, item number 1 is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Mr. Mullins to approve the agenda of the February 11th, 2021 meeting of the board. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Ms. Duggan.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Mr. Fan.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Item number 2, consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the January 14th, 2021 meeting of the board. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion approved.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second's been made. Call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. McMacken, seconded by Ms. Thomas, to approve the consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the January 14th, 2020 meeting of the board, and B, no bus trips. Mr. McMacken.
Aye.
Ms. Duggan.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins. Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Item number 3 was safety report we covered at the workshop. Item number 4 was review of middle school programs and offerings. Ms. Curtis, you want to say anything about that?
Ms. Kennedy did a great job about talking about the CTE courses going down to the middle grades. So if nobody's not seen that, you can watch the video presentation from the workshop on Monday night. Outstanding stuff going on in our middle grades of bringing our CTE courses and having our students more prepared for those at the upper grades, meaning 7th and 8th grade, and doing that. Our principals have been working greatly with that and cooperating with the schedules and trying to get that. It's been a challenge virtually, but we have met that challenge, and y'all heard the report. So outstanding work with our part-time CTE director.
All right. Item number 5, ESSER 2.0 funds expenditure guidance. Mr. Curtis?
Mr. Chairman, our ESSER committee has met, and you can see in your packet you received when you came in or on your, there at your table, you received a result of what the committee did. Now, we didn't know your guidance, and so the guidance is, you see that the allotment there, the $1.6 million that we will receive. Now, some other ESSER funds are probably going to be sent. We do not know how much at this time. We've been told an amount, but we don't know that to be a surety. But we think more ESSER funding will be coming in the month of March. So our team we met and we'll meet again when you tell us your guidance on how much money that you desire to take from this amount and then move. Now, I will tell you this. You can see the categories 1 through 10 on the first page. And for the audience, I'll read those categories and what this has to do with. The allocation, the total allocation, $1.6 million, $1,092.95. So the first thing, these are the categories that the state says that you need to do this. Because this money is, even though it's federal, does come through the state of Tennessee, and the state of Tennessee has certain guidelines, and you see those within your packets too already, the guidelines that have to be met. A lot of paperwork with this money, lots of paperwork that, our staff is overworked as it is, and there's a lot, when you get this much money from the feds through the state of Tennessee, you have accountability for that and lots of paperwork. It'll be at least a monthly report, and that monthly report will have multiple things within it that'll have to be submitted to the state of Tennessee. So number 1, addressing learning loss, coordinator summer supplemental after school and tutoring. Number 2, addressing learning acceleration, supplemental after school and tutoring. Number 3, addressing facility needs and deferred maintenance infrastructure. What the Commissioner of Education has told us in numerous occasions is this needs to be you need to be looking at facilities at both ESSER 2.0 and 3.0. So facilities are very important, according to the Commissioner, on facility needs. First time that's been done in my career that I've ever heard that the feds will give you funding that you could utilize on facilities. Number 4, purchasing educational technology, including hardware, software, and connectivity. We made very good use of our funding in ESSER 1.0 and then ESSER 2.0. And there were some other grants that we got of where we were paid for what we had already spent. And so Mr. Cofer's team has, like I say, got us down to one-on-one nearly all grades now. And so that has been very important, and we've been good stewards of that. Number 5, addressing the unique needs of special populations. There are things that we've covered. We've used we got an additional school psychologist that we contracted with and have utilized her greatly. Our principals will be glad to testify about her usage within our schools. The sixth category, is planning for long-term closures. What can you do? Proposed activities for funds to support the focus area and how the effectiveness of those activities, particularly our virtual learning and how that is to be done if we are closed for in the future for long periods of time, which I hope that doesn't occur. 7, providing mental health supports. You're going to be hearing a lot about that, not only here in the ESSER funding, but you're also going to be hearing about this in ESSER 3.0, but you're also going to be hearing about that in the governor's proposed budget about getting more guidance counselors. And Ms. Patterson will be glad to talk about that, about the need of additional counseling in a COVID environment, of what our counselors and what we're doing, and our nursing supports there too. 8, conducting other necessary activities. And that's just other funding, that's just your miscellaneous category. The indirect cost in this grant, and that's where you're going to have cost as a district. Well, this grant says 14.28% is for this amount. So 14.28% of $1,601,092.95. And then 2, administrative cost. And what I talked about, the paperwork that has to be done, there is a 5% limit in regarding administrative cost. Now that's the first page. That's the categories that we can use this on. With a particular emphasis, as the commissioners told us again and again, on learning loss and on facilities. If you turn the page, it's what the team said, okay, we can spend it on. And you can see all the things that the team has listed. Now, what I would suggest to the board, we need guidance. So if the board says, okay, we think we would like to do $1 million or another figure or whatever you're going to use on any special facility needs or special projects, then you tell once we know that, we will bring the team back together, and the team then will meet, and then we will expend those funds that you said, okay, this is what we will say, this is allotted for us to spend in these particular areas. So Ms. Mullins and like I say, the team met today with many members of we had principals, a teacher representative, and then representation of the central office staff, all of our supervisors. So Ms. Mullins is prepared to, we can discuss that, or you can just throw out a figure and make a motion and throw out a figure. And that's what I'll deal with, and we'll bring the team back together and I'll submit that. We have to submit that by March 1. A lot of these things that the state is doing, a lot of reports are due March 1st. And so what you tell us, this is what we will approve to be utilized for ESSER 2.0. And again, ESSER 3.0, keep in the back of your mind, ESSER 3.0 is coming. So probably either at the March or April meetings, we'll be doing this whole process once again. But we don't know the exact figure. We have heard double of the 1.6 has been mentioned because Tennessee will receive $2 billion, you heard me right, $2 billion in federal funding coming to the state of Tennessee.
All right, guys, it's open for discussion. What do you think?
All I'm needing is a figure. And then we'll meet early next week and get busy on this spending plan.
Last Monday, we had a budget meeting. We discussed quite a few things. We came up with $330,593. That covered a whole lot of stuff. Just now got this thrown at me.
Now, one suggestion, Mr. Chairman, we have to have this done before March the 1st. If you desire to go and look at this further, we do have a couple of budget meetings that could be converted to special call meetings you needed to do that.
We have to recess this meeting and have it again before March 1st.
Yes, sir. But I'd like to, if we can give me a figure, then we could get on that figure and we could move accordingly.
Figure top of second page, that's deductions from the first page, 14% and 5.
Correct, sir. You can see that right there. The 14% would be 228,635 that should be moving to GP, meaning the general purpose school budget. And then your administrative cost is $80,054.60 that we could use. That's a period of 2 years. 2 years, everybody needs to understand that. Period of 2 years of the grant that could be utilized for a person that could assist us with data and also make sure that these reports are submitted in a timely manner. And we could utilize them at central office for other, and the high school and other places and utilizing data that we desperately need.
What total did you get for this page?
I'm sorry,
What was the total for this page?
for this one, this page right here,
You told it?
yeah, $1,562,554, correct, Ms. Mullins?
To come up with a spending plan to utilize all the money. So that's what we did, and these numbers, the list is before you. So, we just did it up over. So I think Mr. Curtis answered your question, I think Mr. Curtis answered your question, the indirect cost, each grant is allowed an indirect cost that is figured automatically for us at a different percent rate, and that goes towards, for example, we are using utilities, we are using electricity, we're using copy machine, and these are all the things, so it's a way to reimburse the general, the GP, the general public fund. So that's what it's actually for.
And that's where the 150,000 that we talked about in regarding the teacher computers would be gotten from that fund, from that 228.
And that 300,000 we talked about at the budget meeting, did that get all the sprayers and stuff and all the cleaning supplies that y'all needed? That y'all needed?
And that includes the buses too. I know that's commission.
Is that the ones you wanted?
Yeah, she's the one that gave us the quote, yes.
I included the nurse students.
That 300,000 the other night, did that include the nurse that did?
The nurses who I said are planning for long-term closure, and so, yes, it's the nurse for 2 years as well.
They would like to know, did that, from the other night, from that meeting, did that include the nurse? Bonnie, you remember that? It did.
Yes, it is.
Anybody else got anything? Do I have a motion?
While you are deliberating, let me say one more thing. You're not the only board having to deliberate this. There's a board in a neighboring county that's doing the same thing you are tonight. Talked to their director earlier today, and he said the same thing I did.
What was the latest we made a decision on this?
Well, we need a decision pretty quick because the paperwork, Ms. Mullins, you've got to submit that in E-Plan on by March 1. We can apply for an extension, but if you apply for an extension, you're going to get the money later than what you wanted. So you do not need to do an extension.
And it's a lot more than me playing numbers. There is a narrative, explanatory, supporting documents. I mean, it's a very in-depth process. Rightly so, but it is a process.
And should you utilize it for facilities, I would have to get with our architect and things have to be worded a certain way on for facilities. So if you do that, then we'll get with Mr. Smee and go accordingly. And utilize the same language with our personnel at the state. There's certain language you have to utilize to, because this will have to be approved by the state also.
Oh, yes, yes, though, through the month of March, approving it, asking questions and back and forth, and then to be approved on April 1st.
Thank you, Ms. Mullins.
I like that one time, you just seeing these numbers tonight. Squeeze out a few days on something. Just to say blanket, we passed it, I don't even really look at it. Some of these numbers, like what we talked about, 300,000.
Right.
This is $1.5 million.
We can spend it all. Literally, we can spend it all, but
Then 3 million.
that's up
10
to,
million, 20 million. No, Wednesday. We got it.
your next budget meeting is February the 22nd, but that's a ways out, and we've got to get that in before the 28th. And the 28th on a Saturday, so we need to get this in by, correction, the 27th on a Saturday. So we'll need to get this in by the 26th, and that would be stretching it.
I'm with you guys. I was prepared for the 300. Yeah, I was prepared for that because we have to think about our facilities. We're going to have to think about that. Yep.
We squeeze in another night somewhere along the way between now and 20 minutes.
Well, your next Tuesday is the 16th. We have a kindergarten through 8th grade parent-teacher conference that night until 6, from 3 to 6. You've got the 17th, which is a Wednesday night, the 18th, which is the high school parent-teacher conference from 3 to 6 p.m. there. And then Friday the 19th. And
You guys think a week would be enough for you to think about it?
Yeah.
the more I've got time to get the paperwork, Ms. Mullins and I we'll hit whatever time it is, whatever you decide to do. That's what we'll plug the numbers in.
All right, no motion was made. Item 6, review policies 5.10 through 5.310, personnel, 2 minutes, Mr. Curtis. We've already covered it. Workshop.
You've already covered all this, Mr. Chairman, at the workshop. You can see that in regard to these policies. This is 5.101, 5.310. The Canton County Board of Education would just, the motion would say Canton County Board of Education reviewed Canton County Board of Education policies 5.101 through 5.310, personnel part 1. And I did get today, and you probably saw that in your email, we did get today a packet from the TSBA stating that you're going to work on 1.700 and 1.500. So I'll have those ready for you at the March meeting. But other than that, you see the policies. Most all of these, as we said the other night, were reviewed in 19. One was changed last month. And then in March, you got a few other those that are older policies that need to be probably closer looked at too in the month of March.
All right, do I have a motion to say it was reviewed?
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second's been made. Call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Thomas, that the Cannon County Board of Education review Cannon County Board of Education policies 5.101 through 5.310, personnel, part 1. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Ms. Duggan.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Finn.
Aye. All right, item number 7 is selection of budget workshop dates for March and April. We discussed this in the workshop. March 24th was brought up, April 5th, April 20th, and then May 3rd and 11th. And be advised that May 15th, the budget is due to the commission. Everybody got that? Everybody okay with these dates? Do I have a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second's been made. Call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. McMackins, seconded by Ms. Thomas, to approve the budget workshops be held on the following dates: February 22nd, 2021, March 2nd, 2021, March 9th, 2021, after the regular workshop, March 24th, 2021, April 5th, 2021, April 6th, 2021, after the regular workshop, April 20th, 2021, May 3rd, 2021, and May 11th, 2021, budget to be submitted to the County Commission by May the 15th. All these meetings will be at 6 p.m. The location, Cannon County Board of Education Central Office, Boardroom, 301 West Main Street, Woodbury, Tennessee, unless changed by the chairman. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Ms. Duggan.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Finn.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
All right, Mr. Curtis.
I've said most of what I needed to say at the budget meeting the other night. We've been working hard. Our folks have been throughout working hard. We're very, very fortunate to be in person. And that takes hard work on parents, takes hard work on guardians, those and teachers and staff members and bus drivers and cafeteria workers. It really takes all of us to keep us in school during these crazy times with COVID. So, and then plus you add on our flex days have been working very well with the ones that we've had. And that I'm very, very proud of with our teachers and our principals and everybody working on those flex days on getting our students that are behind to try to focus in on getting those caught up. I commend our high school that is working hard at getting those failures up and getting those, and everybody again working hard to do that. And it takes it a lot, Mr. Chairman, and these individuals in this room and elsewhere that work hard to do that. And we've had a few snow days. We've got some weather moving in next week. I'll be up at 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll be doing our check-in with Central Dispatch, and we appreciate their cooperation with us, the Cannon County EMA, and others when we try to make those calls. And normally that's the tough calls at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and our buses leave out at 5:45, so that call needs to be made before then. And some of those have been difficult calls, but I'll just tell you, I always err on safety for our students. And so we appreciate all that goes into that. Next week looks like a rough week weather-wise, so we'll keep a weather eye and see what occurs. We're off on Monday for President's Day, and so I'm keeping that eye for Nick. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
I'm impressed.
I can talk about ESSER 3.0. I can talk about our summer program. I can talk about.
Guys, I'd like to appreciate the hard work everybody's done getting our COVID numbers down. There's a couple variants out there. We're a little more experienced now. Keep your guard up, be careful. And to the board, you got a little homework to do. Whatever you decide to do is probably going to affect the Cannon County school system from here on out. Regardless, that's a lot of money we've been given. This is once in a lifetime event. It truly is. Do I have a motion to recess till February 18th?
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second's been made. Call a roll.
Motion made by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Thomas to recess the meeting until February the 18th. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman?
That's correct.
At 6 p.m. in this room.
That's correct.
Mr. McMackins,
Aye.
Ms. Duggan,
Aye.
Mr. Mullins, Ms. Thomas,
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Yeah, 5 times what we